You have probably tried to manifest something with your mind before. You wrote it down. You visualized. You repeated the affirmation. For a few days you felt hopeful. Then life looked the same, and a quiet doubt crept in. Maybe this does not work. Maybe I am not spiritual enough. Maybe I am just cursed with bad luck. What if the problem is none of that? What if you have simply been using the wrong antenna? Most people try to manifest with their brain. They try to think their way into a new reality. But the brain, in electromagnetic terms, is a weak transmitter. Its magnetic field is tiny compared to the heart. The heart is the strongest oscillator in your body. It is like a broadcast tower in the center of your chest. The brain is more like a small Wi-Fi router on your desk. Both are important, but they do not have the same reach. So here is the quiet, uncomfortable truth. You may have been sending your intentions through the weaker antenna, while the real signal has always been coming from a different place. Not from the thoughts you are trying to think, but from the state you are actually living in, day after day in your chest. To understand this, I want you to imagine radios and signals, not magic and rituals. Reality responds less to what you wish for, and more to what you are repeatedly broadcasting. Let us start with something simple. Your heart is not only a pump, it produces an electromagnetic field that can be measured. Around your body, there is a real physical field, generated mostly by your heart, that changes with your emotional state. When you are stressed, angry, resentful, the rhythm of your heart becomes jagged and chaotic. If you plotted it on a graph, it would look like sharp, irregular spikes. When you feel calm, grateful, or deeply caring, the rhythm shifts into something smoother. The graph begins to look like a soft, repeating wave. Researchers, including teams like the HeartMath Institute, have spent years studying this. They call it coherence. Coherence simply means order, harmony, a pattern that flows instead of fights itself. In a coherent state, your heart rhythm looks like a smooth sine wave. Your nervous system, your hormones, your brain waves, they begin to synchronize with that pattern. Your whole inner system moves from scattered to aligned. Think of stress as a noisy signal. Imagine you are trying to tune an old radio. All you hear is static, bursts of half words, music breaking up, voices overlapping. That is how your field looks when you live in constant worry and self-criticism. You still send a signal into the world, but it is fragmented. One part of you says, I want abundance. Another part says, I am not worthy. Another part whispers, nothing ever works out for me. The heart does not only hear the sentence you repeat, it broadcasts the state you actually live in. Now imagine the opposite. You turn the dial, and suddenly the static disappears. One clear station comes through. The sound is clean, steady, strong. This is coherence. In that moment, your heart rhythm, your breath, your feelings, and your thoughts are all moving in the same direction. It is not perfection, it is enlightenment. The signal you send out is no longer a confused cloud. It becomes more like a laser beam. Most people are trying to manifest with laser-sharp affirmations on top of a noisy, jagged emotional field. They are speaking the language of clarity while broadcasting the energy of chaos. It is like typing the most beautiful email and then sending it through a broken modem. The message never leaves the house. The awakened human does it differently. They learn to engineer their field first, and only then choose the intention. So how do you do that in real life? In a small apartment, after a long day, with real bills and real pain? You do not need a crystal. You need 5 minutes and your own heart. There is a simple practice called heart-focused breathing. It is not magic, it is nervous system engineering. For 5 minutes, you become the technician of your own field. Here is how it works. Find a quiet place where you can sit or lie down. It does not have to be perfect. It just has to be enough. Let your shoulders drop a little. Relax your jaw. Put one hand gently on the center of your chest. This is not to be dramatic. It is to remind your attention where to go. Now begin to breathe in for a count of 5 and out for a count of 5. Not forced, not exaggerated, just a smooth, steady rhythm. In for 5, out for 5. Think of it as programming a metronome inside your body. This pacing helps bring your heart into a more coherent pattern. It is like smoothing the jagged wave into something more elegant. As you continue this, imagine that you are breathing through your heart, not just your lungs. On the inhale, you draw in calm, strength, and life through your chest. On the exhale, you release tension and noise out of the same center. You do not need to visualize perfectly. You just need to be willing to let the center of your chest become the focus of the breath. Then, after a minute or two, add one more layer. Bring to mind something that naturally awakens warmth in you. It could be a person you deeply care about, a moment you felt safe, the sight of your child sleeping, the way the sunlight looked on a quiet morning when you had no responsibilities for a few minutes. Whatever it is, let that feeling of genuine appreciation or care sit in your chest while you keep breathing in for 5 and out for 5. Now picture your heart as a soft radio tower or lighthouse. With every breath, it sends out a gentle, steady field of this feeling. Not gripping desire, not desperate begging, just clear, stable care. From that state, choose one intention, not 10. 1. Maybe it is, I am open to aligned work. Maybe, I am ready to heal this relationship. Maybe, I am prepared to live with more ease around money. Let that intention rest in the field, like a message written in light that your heart tower is quietly broadcasting. You are not forcing reality, you are changing the shape of the signal you send into it. Notice what is happening here. We are not asking your mind to shout louder. We are asking your entire system to move into coherence. The heart rhythm becomes smoother, the breath becomes regular, the emotions become steadier, the thoughts begin to slow down and line up. This is physics before it is philosophy. When you repeat this 5-minute practice daily, you start to re-educate your field. Instead of spending most of the day in jagged stress and then trying to manifest for 3 minutes before sleep, you are gradually raising the proportion of your time spent in coherence. You are upgrading the quality of the broadcast. What changes when you do this consistently? Opportunities that were always there become visible. Conversations flow differently. You stop saying yes to things that are obviously wrong for you, simply because you no longer feel as desperate. Your timing improves. You walk into the room on the right day. You speak up at the moment when someone is actually listening. This looks like luck from the outside. From the inside, it is field alignment. Coherent states influence how your brain processes information, how your body reacts to stress, and how you interpret events. 2 people can live the same day. One, in a chaotic field, sees only obstacles and proof that nothing works. The other, in a more coherent field, notices tiny openings, a line in a message, a chance encounter, a subtle nudge to turn left instead of right. This is how heart coherence quietly engineers your environment to bring you what you need. It does not control life like a tyrant. It invites life into resonance with you. So if you have judged yourself for being bad at manifesting, I want you to breathe for a moment. There is nothing wrong with you. You were never broken. You were simply trying to build a radio tower out of thoughts alone, while ignoring the greatest transmitter you have ever owned. Your heart has been broadcasting your true state all along. Now you know that you can shape that state. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, hand on your chest, a genuine feeling of care, one clear intention, resting inside a coherent field. This is not a trick, it is a daily training. And with every small practice, the jagged noise of old patterns softens, your signal becomes clearer. Your life, slowly, begins to rearrange around that clarity. You are not a failed manifester. You are an awakening engineer of your own heart field, and each day you choose coherence. You are quietly rewriting the physics of how reality meets you.